All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cade Gaming. Today, I'm going to introduce you guys to something that's very new. This is a game called Check and Slash. This is like a marriage of chess and roguelikes. It is tremendously fun. This is their free demo, which is available on Steam right now. I'll share the link in the description of the video. And this is a great little indie game made by one dev. I always like to support, small teams and indie games. So please feel free to grab a coffee and let's dive right in. This game is very straightforward. There's not a lot of hand-holding as well in their tutorial. The White King is hiding somewhere in the maze. You must find and defeat him to save the black pieces from oppression, but be careful with the white pieces that guard the maze. They will try to stop you. So to play the game, you move around with WSAD. If you hold shift, you skip over a spot right here. And then outside of that, you left click to attack. And if you look up at the top left up here, you can see how many attacks I have. As I attack, I use up those options. And then as I move, I gain new options. Quick lay of the land on the right side is the mini map. It is like a chessboard, which is very cool. Above that, you can see my damage and multiplier. Sometimes when you kill stuff, you'll gain extra damage. And then outside of that, I can move in different directions here. So I'm gonna start by going down. In the hallways, there are white pieces that don't attack, essentially. And then here in each room, this is where the bad guys are. And if you are wondering, the way that combat works was not fully explained to me. For example, I kind of had to figure out movement, for example, gains extra attacks on my own. So again, very much not hand-holdy. And then as you complete some rooms, I think there might be experience somewhere. I haven't discovered that yet. You always have a benefit and disadvantage choice. So for example, location of black pawns appear on the map, and then health drops from them heal 75% less. In this instance, the black pawns are talking about when you find them, you gain permanent buffs for any black pieces you rescue. I love this. I think it's super helpful, but more than that, the way I've been playing the game, and maybe this is something they could adjust before the release, I try to take the things that are the least consequential because the game is a little difficult as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take this right here because losing health drops is okay. Enemies do drop them and more than that as well. You have the hallways in between, which helps a lot too. So now on my minimap, you can see up there, it showed me this is where that pawn is. And it shows on the left side here how many black pieces there are for me to find. Each one gives a different bonus. So their pawns give me permanent max health increases. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over here to the left. Here we go. And I think one of the things I love a lot about this game is it's so original. I'm gonna show you before I jump into this room here. As the enemies move, right? They move in the same directions that a chess piece could. So this example would be the horse, right? Can jump 1 up and 2 over, or 1 over and 2 up. The pawns, by comparison, right? They can only move 1 direction. And the little red panels, if you land on those, enemies will shoot at you. So you'll see here, as I land on red panels, or as enemies jump between, they're gonna shoot at me. In addition, you see the shields, you see the protections. If an enemy has the protection, they won't take damage. So in some ways, you're gonna have to, at some point, find ways to move them away. And that sound you're hearing, that's because I'm trying to click more often than I have abilities for here. So I have to keep bouncing so I can keep attacking. I can't just sit still. Yeah, so here's a great example of what I was talking about earlier. Defeated knights grant up to 1 additional point of damage bonus. For me, I love that. It helps me scale, but knights deal 50% more damage. I think something this game could maybe benefit from is balancing here. 1 additional point of damage is not really amazing compared to them dealing 50% more damage. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take the movement reduction, and I hope that's the right choice. Take some healing. I also see over here on the left, oh no, I can't go that way. I see on my mini map over there that there's gonna be a pawn over here to the left somewhere. One other thing I think they could do to improve this game would be in the minimap to make it more obvious, like where you've already explored. So if I've already tried to go that way, for example, from G3, I already know I've explored to the left. I think it'd be very cool if there was a way for me to have that visibility already labeled, so I don't have to worry about it. Because that way, I have in my previous runs gone all the way back somewhere to see, oh, I haven't explored, only to discover I've already gone that way, you know? Let's see here. Pawns deal 50% extra. There's so many pawns, but extra damage. Ghosts of defeated bishops. So the ghosts, by the way, you'll see that happen at some point. When you kill an enemy, a ghost will spawn and keep moving in their areas. So that actually adds a level of difficulty. My first run through, I was like, that's not gonna be too bad, right? It ended up being kind of bad. So as we play too, I'll probably skip around a little bit. I do want to show you some of the bosses, which I think is really cool. And then in addition as well, a little bit later too, I want to be able to I don't want to show you, but if you die, something very, very key. When you die, you do get to actually resurrect. I don't know all of it's not explained. There's no tutorial that explains what it means when you resurrect, but I do see you keep the modifiers in the spaces you've explored. This right here, so this is a boss right here. So once I jump on that, a boss is going to spawn, and this will be the first boss, which is the pawn. Here we go. And they move, you know, in specific patterns. I think one of the biggest lessons in this one is learning what their pattern is and then jumping out of the way right before. So the nuance is going to be knowing what they do. See, and jumping right before they make an attack. I think the hardest part for me is continually moving so I can get more attacks charged up. And they, of course, do so much more damage. Or they have so much more health, I should say. So let's see here, get some attacks built up, jump sideways. It's nice, you know, once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad, but it is like you can't slip up. See, they do have this aura sometimes. I also don't know what that means. The game does not explain that. And then finally, if you do your dash jump, you aren't gaining attacks either. So it's important to make sure you're doing regular jumps from time to time so you can regenerate attacks. And oop, yeah, see, there you go, checkmate. So the game is very much not forgiving. It takes a little finesse. I actually really love it. I think the replay value here is really high. I want there to be more explanations. I want to maybe understand what different icons mean. I didn't really understand how an enemy, for example, was protected. That was actually something that I had to figure out on my own here. So now that I've respawned, this pawn will essentially tell me what I already have here on the left, what I found. And on the right, you can see I still have those modifiers too. So now I gotta start exploring again. And that borrowed power, I guess, I don't know exactly what it is, that glowing bad guy over there, but that's where I'm gonna head to try and see what I can find again. So, and I played this for actually quite a great deal of time already. I think one of the things that I discovered, one of the things I noticed was the farther you go, the more enemies you find and the new pieces that you find as well, right? I'll start fighting rooks, I'll start fighting bishops, eventually a queen, which that was not the easiest thing in the world as well, you know? I think the hardest thing for me, and something maybe I would love for them to work on, is balance, because as you progress, you know, you're getting all these buffs, but you're also getting all these debuffs, and at some point it's like, enemies, you have so many ghosts, or you have so little healing happening, or they all gain damage, and it's just like enemies just scale. Honestly, it seems a little more than you do. So my biggest, I think, thought there is this game is a lot of fun, and I know it's designed to be a little more difficult. I think between having enemies that can be protected, enemies that gain just as much as you do, right? They gain just as many buffs. It adds quite a great deal of difficulty. So I'd like to see maybe a little more balancing there. I want to see maybe even different builds, for example, so I can see myself scaling more. That would be really, really cool. You know, especially if they could pull that off, if they could also, I think, add a meta currency so that, you know, in between games, for example, there's a reason for me to play again. Maybe I can buy different pieces. Maybe I can unlock different weapons, anything like that, so I can try playing chess in a new way the next time. I think all that would be actually just really cool additions and give, I think, the game even a little more buying power, so that way you have a reason to continue to play. But for now, I've been really, really hooked. I've been loving it. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't want to let go of the demo anytime soon. And by the way, guys, as far as free demos go, this one has a lot of content to it. You know, I played it for about an hour and a half already, and I didn't hit any sort of a wall where they said buy the game to finish or anything like that. So, but this is Check and Slash. Let me know what you thought of it. I think this game is wholly original. I can't wait to try the full completed game. I can't wait to see what other things they implement, see if there's any balance changes made. I love the game. If you love it too, don't forget to show some love and support for the developers. Again, the game is available on Steam. You can wishlist it. For me, of course, thank you for watching. I love your comments. Thank you for commenting. They make me feel so amazing. If you like content like this, there are more videos released weekly. So please don't forget to click that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe and it helps me so much. So thank you for doing that. My name is Cade. I hope you enjoyed your coffee and happy gaming.